Mic check. One, two, three. Mic check. One, two, three. Uh-oh. Is this working? Yes, it is. Hello, friends. This is Brain from GameBrain.media, and I am going to jump right in and let you know that today we will be doing a cold start on Hitman 2, the second part of the Hitman World Assassination Trilogy. This is part of my video game tourist series where I give you an intro to a video game or a series, and then I play the first level or two, or the second or third part of the series. In this case, it's the second part of the Hitman trilogy, but there's an earlier part. There's actually several earlier parts. Like, this game is deep. It's been around for a very long time. Anyway, we'll see if we want to continue streaming the game or the series. I really love the game, and I will just continue playing. So if you don't want to see it, I will just play offline. It is a remarkable game, and I have a brand new video card that can run it like in glory. It should be glorious. I mean, man, Hitman, the first part of the Hitman World Assassination Trilogy was phenomenal. Just the most remarkable environments and the weirdest gameplay. You are a weird, stiff, shaved-headed freak. There's no other way to say it, but anyway, here we go. Um, the idea here is that we are going to approach this as a tourist. We've never seen the game before. We're arriving on an airplane. We're flying over at 10,000 feet and getting the big picture and the overview. So I'm trying to give you a little bit of background. Okay. So obviously I've seen marketing for the game and it piqued my interest. So I bought the game, added it to my shopping list. When it hit a certain price point, I jumped because I'm cheap like that. I have a huge backlog and I don't need to spend any additional money on the latest and greatest because at the time, until just now, I didn't have a video card that would run this respectably. I mean, I guess it could run on medium settings, but I don't want to do that. In fact, unfortunately, I can play at 1080p or 1920 by 1080 on ultra settings or at least very high settings, but I can only stream at 720. However, streaming very high or ultra settings at 720 is better than streaming medium settings or low quality video settings of a game, right? So that's why I didn't do sniper contracts. Anyway, let's carry on here. Like I said, the idea here is we're gonna be a tourist and we're arriving on an airplane, flying over 10,000 feet, big picture view. I saw the marketing. I bought the game. I typically buy games on sale because I have so many in my backlog. Today we are looking at Hitman 2. It is part of the Hitman series. In some cases, I'm already very familiar with a game series like Far Cry. I just finished Far Cry New Dawn. I didn't stream a lick of it because I, I was playing on medium settings on an older machine that couldn't keep up and do stuff. Um, didn't feel that it was like, who cares? Who would watch? Um, Hopefully, this is going to be different since I have a new video card and actually it's a full new PC. But I had to buy a damn PC as a pre-built to get the video card, and it ain't bad. PC's okay. It's got a decent motherboard. It's an ASRock X570 Pro 4, which is actually a pretty good motherboard, honestly. And it's got AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. And my old PC actually had a 3800X, but it had an older video card, the R9 390, 380. Anyway, let's carry on. I keep getting distracted. In some cases, like I said, I'm already familiar with a lot of these games. In other cases, I'm just learning about the game right along with you live as I play the game. So that's what the case is going to be here. That's why it's called a cold start to Hitman 2. This series, obviously is called Hitman, and you're that guy. You're the Hitman. You'll find the entire series described in depth on Wikipedia just by searching Hitman franchise at wikipedia.com. The long and the short of the series is that you're assigned to kill people by your handler, and then you carry out a mission. She gives you some intel along the way. She gives you directions in the middle of your mission and stuff like that. You're supposed to, like all video games, you pick up some intel here and there. You eavesdrop on a conversation. You listen to a recorded phone message. You find somebody's journal, diary, photos, tape recordings, etc. Pretty cool. Really fun game. Very bizarre play style compared to first-person shooters like Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six, um, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, Call of Duty, Battlefield, all those first person shooters. No, 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 no. This is a third person stealth game and it's really weird to play. At least Hitman 1, Hitman, doesn't have one in it, just Hitman, part of the trilogy, was really, really good. So, as a quick aside, there was a there was a movie based on this game that introduces you as an orphan child who was recruited into an organization that trained children to become assassins, hitmen. But I don't know if the games really follow that storyline religiously. I think they did, like, bleed that into the game, or maybe the movie just bled out of a tiny bit of the story. Um, oh, hey, the subwoofer parade just drove by with the fat racer exhaust note. Woohoo! All right, so I don't know if the games followed that storyline religiously, but as a fan of the games, I thought the movie was worth watching. I would recommend watching the movie if you can find it. It streams all over the place. It's $3 to stream off of Amazon or something. Totally worth it. You don't have to watch it in high def. Um, just sit back 12 feet. You can't tell the difference really. Watch it in 480, low def, SD, whatever. Anyway, I don't know if that mythos is really part of the trilogy in the game we're about to jump into, but right now let's discuss the particular game. Well, let's discuss, sorry, the niche or the genre of Hitman. I already mentioned a couple times that this is a third-person perspective game of stealth assassination. Um, I've only played the first game in the series called Hitman Absolution. Even that game had remarkable environments, really, really intense and dense AI. There were frickin' people and bad guys everywhere. That's, I mean, like, probably largely why it put a lot of stress on my machine even then. And then Hitman came out. The numbering system or the game naming systems suck. They should just call it Hitman Agent 47 or whatever the first one was called, and then append 1997 on that. And then later and later and later, you could fully understand at least the years they came out, and if these were chapter 1, chapter 5, chapter 6, because they commingle and fuck up the timelines of every game you ever wanted to play, just like this one. Um, so anyway, right now we're discussing Hitman. Its niche and genre is third person perspective, stealth assassination, remarkable environments. And after playing my first game in this series, I added every single Hitman game to my wish list. I went to that Wikipedia article. I found them. They're not all called identically Hitman this, that, and the other thing. Um, like, I think Agent 47 was the first Hitman game. I might be mistaken, but yeah, it's Hitman Codename 47. And then there's Hitman Contracts, Hitman Blood Money, Hitman Absolution, Hitman 2, Silent Assassin. There's also Hitman, which I don't have installed. Then there's the newer 2016 version called Hitman. Then there's 2017 or 18 called Hitman 2. And now 2020, I think it's Hitman 3. But Hitman 2, and Hitman 3 are part of the World Assassination trilogy with some overarching storyline, apparently. But you get my vibe, right? Anyway, yeah. Um, I got Hitman Absolution when it was released in. Well, no, I got it in 2013. It was released in 2012. It was the fifth game in the eight-game PC series. If I can make sense out of the jacked up PC game naming series convention where, like, how do you know if Absolution came before Contracts, came before Blood Money, came before Silent Assassin, came before Codename 47? Um, you got to go look at some outside resources, right? So anyway, I have those games in my Steam. I have Codename 47, Hitman 2, Silent Assassin, and I think those two are sequential. Well, no, I think Hitman Codename 47. Then they put out contracts, and then they put out Blood Money, and I think those were similar to DLC back in the day. Then they put out Hitman 2, Silent Assassin. Then they put out Hitman Absolution. I might not have that exactly correct, but you can cross-reference it at the Wikipedia site linked on my website at GameBrain.media, and you can see the title of this is Hitman Series Hitman 2 because that's the game we're going to launch into soon. All right, so here we are. Let's finish this off. Like I said, I bought the game in 2013. Oh yeah, it was released in 2012, part of a 5 games and 8 game series. I bought it in 2013. I paid $5, man. Amazon Digital. And then I added the CD key to my Steam account, and it counts in Steam that I played 14 and a half hours. So it was a great value for $5, man. I mean, it's better than any TV series binge. You can't even watch 3 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for $5. So anyway, various playtimes for Hitman Absolution can be found at howlongtobeat.com. I'm going to give you a bunch of, you know, URLs and websites, but I'm not affiliated with any of them. I don't make a dime from them. I'm just trying to share the love with my fellow gamers. All right, so the second game in the series that I played was just called Hitman, and that was released in 2016. So I jumped from a game released in 2012 to 2016, and there might have been a 4 year gap between they even released them. Anyway, this is the first part of the World Assassination trilogy. I got that game free on Epic Games. Oh my God, it was magnificent. The environments were spectacular. I'm pretty sure I could only play on medium, or I think maybe I played on very high and my frames just sucked. So I knocked it down to high and my frames still sucked. So I knocked it down to medium and it was okay and ran all right. So I went back up to high, and then I knocked down shadows and foliage density. Maybe that's not the exact option, but you get what I'm saying? You jack around until you can find that 60 frames a second sweet spot of a 60 frames per second minimum with VSync turned off. I don't recall there being a benchmark, but anyway, this is a pretty long intro, but this is what I'm talking about when I tell you I'm a video game tourist and I'm giving you a tour of the game and give you some background in depth understanding of what you're about to see. And then we're going to jump into the game. All right. So when I played Hitman, like I said, released in 2016, I probably picked it up in 2018 because I waited for a sale. I got tons of other shit to play. I don't really care, but oh my God, it was magnificent. And I played the main missions and all kinds of side missions. I just stayed in there. It was like I was him for a couple of weeks that I was playing this game. I mean, I would only play 2 or 3 hours a night. One hour, 2 hours. It's like watching a sitcom or watching, what do they call those things? Police dramedies, uh, comedy dramedy. Um, no, what the hell is that shit called? Like CSI. You jump in for an hour and it's just this intense little thing. And you can jump into Hitman and play for an hour and you can accomplish a mission and you could try a mission and fail and it took you an hour and guess what, you have to repeat until you complete it. Don't repeat it the same way twice. That's the beauty. This is like Far Cry 1 to me anyway. This is really the part of they have nailed really good stuff in the open, what do you call it? It's really not open world. You have to do stuff, but man, it really, really is a cool, unique game. I highly recommend it. The game was jaw-droppingly beautiful when I played Hitman back then, and now Hitman 2 should be even more jaw-droppingly beautiful because I should be able to, with this video card and this better processor and more RAM, be able to crank this mother up to the bestest available to me, which should be ultra or very high. Um, so we're going to jump in and see if I can do that. Like I said, that the original, well, Hitman Absolution I played was on an Intel i4790K, which is a 4.4 gigahertz processor with I think 4 cores. No, it was 8 cores, but I think it was 8 cores. Anyway, I can't remember, so I won't quote myself. But anyway, Intel shit, what was it called? i7 4790K CPU and an AMD R9 380. Had 16 gigs of RAM in that machine. Now I have a machine with 32 gigs of RAM, much better video card. Um, anyway, I don't remember the specific settings that I played the game at. It might have been medium or high, but I was able to run smoothly, and my eyeballs were just dripping from the immersion. So if you want to grab this game, it is on sale all the time. I highly suggest visiting cdkeys.com, cdkeys.com. C like Charlie, D like Daniels. I'm not a hillbilly, but Charlie Daniel Keys, cdkeys.com. Is there any deal? Is another site. It's a clearinghouse. It's an aggregator. Is there any deal.com. These are all linked in the article on my website at GameBrain.media slash home slash, I don't know, Hitman something. And the other website I've used in this article and this video is Can I Run It? Well, no, I guess How Long to Beat. But now I'm approaching Can I Run It? Can I Run It is really cool. Has a small web app. You install it inside your browser. It's not a virus, but if you're smart, you have antivirus software running, and you would know. So canirunit.com. Just click that. There's a search field. Type in any game. Click go. Or whatever it's called. Disinfector. It's some stupid word. Let me look. Can I run it? Well, I just will put in Hitman. Can you run it? And because guess what? I've already got the little web app installed, it won't tell me the name of what I just recently downloaded. So I'm going to back up real quick. Let me look at my downloads history here. It's called detection.exe. Now, most people freak out when they see an exe in a browser, but I'm running a vast antivirus and Windows, whatever the built-in bullshit it's called. It's a safe site. Canirunit.com. It will ask you to, you know, can I run this thing? And it's an exe. And if you say yes, it's going to tell you. It's going to look at your CPU, your RAM, your video game card, your video card, and your hard drive. And can you run it? Yes or no? And it will give you yeah, but it's going to be shitty. You can run this game on medium or low settings. It'll tell you crap like that. It's really cool. Anyway, I'm not paid by any of these sites for anything. Here's a disclaimer. I am just trying to help my friends, my gaming friends, and I hope they eventually tip me beer money is their video game DJ one of these days using the PayPal link at the top right corner of my website screen. Visit GameBrain.media, not .com. They want $12,000 or $15,000 for that URL now. It started off when I first looked at it, it was like 10 grand. Then after I registered this and started like using this, I looked again, it was up to 12 grand, and now it's up to 15 grand. So I'm obviously getting some search results with GameBrain, but GameBrain.media, not so much. GameBrain.com, yeah, somebody owns that and they're trying to sell it for 15 grand. Anyway, totally off subject now. All right, so finally we're going to skydive into, we're going to skydive out of that 10,000-foot flyover view and jump into the game cold. I'm going to go through the full startup of scenes, menus, along with turning off menu music to avoid copyright strikes and that kind of stuff. So we might need a restart for graphic settings, but not all games require that. Let's jump in and see what the first impressions are. Bam, I'm switching over to Steam in my streaming software. I launched it in Steam and I am waiting to see it show up. Oh, cool. I get to choose options. Now, you're not going to be able to see this, but Hitman 2. It's recognizing my, what's it called? Asus NVIDIA GeForce RTX 370. It's got DirectX 3D 11. I wonder if I should try. I'm going to go ahead. 3D 12. I've heard that it actually makes a frame per second hit without providing any visual additions, but I haven't had a video card that can do it, and I haven't been using Windows 10 up until now either. So let's see. Primary monitor 1920 by 1080. Yep. Exclusive full screen. Yep. Oh, I'm gonna knock that to full screen because I want to Alt Tab potentially and look at my browser to make sure shit works. VSync I'm turning off. VSync interval. Well, VSync is off, so that shouldn't matter. HDR is defaulted to off, and maybe with VSync off, it should stay off. Okay. Super sampling was, you know what? Restore to defaults. Yeah, super sampling was at 1. Okay, so I'm going to full screen. I'm going, sorry, VSync off. And I'm going super sampling is at set at 1. Man, if it's reading my system, shouldn't it be figuring this out? I'm going to try super sampling at 2. Level of detail at ultra. Texture quality at high. Anisotropic, I'm going to go with 8. It was defaulted to 4. I know there's really not much visual difference between 8 and 16, so I'm going to go ahead with anisotropic filtering at 8. SSAO, I'm going to go ultra. Yeah, there's no just one fell swoop. Set everything to ultra. So show stats on, loop endless is off. Why is that? What's up with that? Loop endless. Benchmark scene is Miami or Mumbai. Ooh, cool. There's a benchmark. Oh, baby. Hell yeah. Okay, so Razor Chroma is off, and I cannot turn it on. Override memory safeguards. It's defaulted to no. Yes is an option with an asterisk. Warning, disabling memory safeguards will allow you to use resolution and graphic quality settings exceeding your GPU memory capability. This could lead to performance or instability issues. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel, and now override memory safeguards has gone back to no. Simulation quality is on best. Dynamic sharpening, we're going to put to strong. Motion blur, we're going to turn to high. I don't know, man, I forget. Reflection quality is set to high. Screen space shadows will be turned on. Shadow quality will be ultra. Oh shit. I know that takes a big ass hit, but in this game, shadow quality could be very useful. All right, so I'm going to save these settings, which I'm sorry you were looking at a black screen and you couldn't see, and I'm hitting play. Oh, baby, we're going to run the benchmarks. We're going to run the benchmarks. And you know what? I think maybe I will just kill it after that, and that would be the introduction. Then, before I begin any mission in this game, I will restart a stream so I can do episodes type thing. Usually you get, a mission, and you have to go kill a certain person, and if I don't succeed, then I would just end that and start again, potentially with a different stream. Like I said, it can be very episodic, like, shit, what was that game? Battlefield Hardline, one of my favorite episodic games of all time. All right, so here we are. Allow Hitman 2 to use your GeForce experience to automatically capture highlights of your gameplay. You can undo this later. You know what? I'm going to say no, because I'm streaming it. Press enter to play. Privacy policy, I have to acknowledge and accept. And I can see the stream is live. We are in game. Cool. Bangers. All right, language, English, subtitle size, default, interaction prompt size, and I'm good with that. Wow, smooth start. Pretty banging PC, like I said. Ryzen 7 3700X, this bumped it up to 64 gigs of RAM, but I have a mismatch on the RAM speed. I'm going to knock it back down to 32 megabytes of RAM instead of 64 because
the story so far.
I wanted to run it.
Agent 47 and his handler Diana Burnwood are the world's top assassins working for the ICA. When all of their recent missions turn out to be contracts for a shadow client, things take an unexpected turn. All their targets have been operatives in an invisible organization known as Providence. Providence has infiltrated the highest echelons of power and secretly owns our world. The Shadow Client wages a silent war against them. And so the Constant, Providence's enigmatic controller, seeks Diana out. His request: track down and eliminate the Shadow Client. In return, he offers something irresistible: the truth of 47's lost origins.
My childhood.
Neither know that the man they hunt is 47's childhood friend. And unlike 47, he remembers everything.
Well, now, come on. Didn't they just give us all too much information? They just gave us spoilers, man. I'm telling you. This is such a great game. The Hitman 1, the first part of this trilogy, was spectacular, and, yeah. He knows his handler. And she knows him. Agent 47. And here we are.
At the location. No hostile presence.
Understood. Alma Reynard's house is just up the beach. Our intel indicates that she and her team are laying low, most likely planning the militia's next strike.
Reynard is one of the Shadow Client's top lieutenants, and yet she's not a target.
Not yet, anyway. She's no doubt high on our client's list, but for now, it's information we seek. Infiltrate the house and get us a lead on the Shadow Client. Up for some B&E, 47?
On my way.
Find a way into the house, top left corner. Alright, so, I wanted to run the frackin' benchmark. And it's not here. If I go to graphics, maybe? Okay. VSync is off. VSync interval. Where the hell is the Miami thing? It said Miami or Mumbai. Man, the guy upstairs from me is pounding on the floor. I don't understand. What the hell? He can't be doing aerobics. He can't be playing Dance. There's no rhythm to it, so it can't be Dance Dance Revolution or aerobics of any kind unless... Simulation quality, dynamic sharpening, strong. Okay, so everything is like at its its highest, but where in the hell do I get to run the benchmark? Because that's really what I want to do. Okay, so I'm gonna back out, replan the mission, restart the mission, exit to menu. I'm gonna do exit to menu, confirm. Aha! It does take us to a totally different deal. Campaigns, game modes, contracts, career, options, gameplay, graphics. Where, oh where would they hide the... No. But dude, okay, so like I was saying in my lengthy introduction, there is a lot more to the game. Like Hitman, I could go back and just keep playing and playing, but I don't want to download it onto this new PC because it's gigantic and my only connection is a cell phone. Like I said, I'm playing at 1080 and I'm streaming at 720 and I'm doing it on a cell phone. So hopefully the stream actually looks okay. It does, because this is a fairly slow-paced game. Like, I can't play Ghost Recon Wildlands, or for a while, I was having just shit connections in the dead of winter. Maybe it was my line of sight to a cell tower. I don't know. But couldn't get nothing going on for streaming. And now I kind of want to... You know what? I want to run the benchmark, and then I want to rerun the intro. So, destinations. Oh my god, look at all these places. Nope, that's not the place. Oh my god. In Hitman, when we went to where was it? Spain? It was phenomenal. See now, here's Miami. Oh, see, I clicked let's go to Miami because I wanted to see if they would offer me the opportunity to do um, the benchmark. Okay, so gameplay, mission story guidance. Yeah, I've got all the defaults on. Mini map is always on. Yeah, as long as I'm here, I might as well look for. I want to make this as easy as possible so I can get through the game fairly easily. Difficulty, HUD off. What? On. Show difficulty HUD off. Hide difficulty HUD. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave that off. Leave that at the default. Graphics, audio, IO account. IOI account? Okay. No, this is nothing. Options. Graphics. Dude, I have stared at screens like it's like looking in the refrigerator to find the mustard. It's in the door. You can't see it. Your mom comes over and says, "It's right here." And she pulls it out of the door. You were staring at it right next to the mayonnaise the whole time and you couldn't see it. This happens to me a lot in game menus. Like, I don't think I'm dyslexic, but whatever. I'm going to go look at YouTube and do Hitman 2. Hitman 2 benchmark. Where is benchmark? And I'm just doing benchmark. Hitman 2 benchmark. Performance analysis. How to. I'm going to put in how to. How to benchmark. I got to close the window. Some fucker's smoking. Okay, it'll take 20 minutes for that stench to go away. I so appreciate you smokers. I just want to stab you in the throat, but I won't. I'll just look at you with disdain. Okay, benchmark access. Benchmark is grayed out. Benchmarks take place in Miami or Mumbai. Since you wouldn't have those levels installed in the free version, it's grayed out. I buy Hitman Standard Edition. The benchmark is also grayed out, and I cannot find the engine benchmark.bat in the install folder. The benchmark used to be bugged. It's no longer the case. It should work from the launcher. Okay. That's not entirely useful. Performance analysis to power up, and this article is from 2018. 2016 the game was released, but this article is 2018, so it would be a patched version, and now it's 2021, so that I should have a patched version, right? All right, so let's see. Introduction, screenshots, performance in VRAM, and conclusion. Well, performance. Did they use the damn benchmark? Conclusion. Okay. We chose to not use the integrated benchmark since it's yielding unrealistic performance numbers. Well, okay, that's, like I said, an article from 2018. Here's an article that says Hitman 2 finally receives a PC launcher benchmark in version or update release 2.13. That's January of 2019, so certainly I have that. Hitman 2 finally released a fresh update addressing enhanced and feedback, blah, blah, blah. Mhm. Ghost mode improvements, PC specific improvements, launcher. We've added a benchmark option to the PC launcher. All right. Well, I'm going to quit game. And then I'm going to relaunch the game because I really, really, really want to know what my frames are happening with this particular graphic setting. I guess I could jump in and play the game. Because I'm in Steam, it should be showing, and I have the setting turned on to show frames per second in my top left-hand corner with, a lime green color. But we're going to go ahead and see if when we hit play, we get the launcher. And if we hit options and we roll start benchmark with current settings. How did I miss that? Well, I told you, it's like looking for mustard in the door of the refrigerator. Your mom can find it, but you never will. Same thing with Frank's Red Hot. I don't know. Maybe I'm just mustard and red hot blind. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't want to alt tab out of here, but I am getting this beautiful view of Miami. And it looks like there's a Formula One race going to be happening here. Maybe GTR. Oh, wow. God, the density of the crowd is insane. Yeah, I know. You can't see the veins in their biceps or the nipples in the tank tops. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Crowd agents. 950 crowd agents. FPS 47, 49, 42. Oh, it's giving me min-max and my average is 56. So with these current settings, 56, 55, that's pretty good. I can knock that one shadow setting down, and I guarantee that would get me to 60. I'm guessing that my average FPS would be 60. Particles, crowd agents, it's throwing them all over the place. It's like now we're down to 80 people are in this environment. But when we were inside that bar, we had 300. Then outside we had 600 people in the bleachers and all that shit. Cloth vertices were like really heavy into 4 digits. Wow, for this one alone, we're at the 8,000, 9,000 cloth vertices, 71 agents of crowd agents. That means 71 humans within the realm of what this game is currently displaying. God, I'm gonna alt tab and see. Oh shit. Gamecaster. Oh, it is showing the. Yep, you are getting the benchmark displayed in the stream. So, I don't know about you guys, but oh, look at that little fucking turnbuckle thing holding up that tarp or that overhang rain screen. Man, lighting's cool. So, average FPS is 58. I'm gonna knock down the shadows, and we're gonna get over 60 FPS as an average, and I think we're gonna call that good. It looks pretty to me. Now, I was really actually expecting a little more because on my other older PC, just running it high or very high with high shadows or high with medium shadows, so my overall score was 52. Okay, well, that's what it is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump back into this. Like I said, I'm going to knock down well, let's see. Unfortunately, you can't see this. I'm going to start at the top of the Hitman 2 graphics settings. Graphic processing unit is my vid card. I have, I wonder if I went from Direct 3D to Direct 11 with the same exact settings and ran it. No! Shit. I pressed play instead of options. All right, so I'm going to try the difference between DirectX 11 and DirectX 12. And I don't know if you guys are nerds like me and do this kind of crap, but if you're not, maybe I'm going to give you a little bit of education on how to do shit. Or maybe I'm just a complete lunatic and I do weird shit and that nobody else does. But I kind of doubt that. I think if you're a gaming nerd and you've been around a long time, you probably do this. I want to find the best way to play this game before getting into the game and then start dicking around with stuff. So, before I launch and get into the story and become Agent 47, now I want to get all this technical mumbo jumbo type crap out of the way. So I know there's only a certain type of people who would be interested in a stream like this, and most of them are not you, and you've already left. But remind me later, cancel, don't ask me again. Sign up for the account. Get 3 new suits. I don't care. Load game contracts. How do I exit? See, like this kind of crap. I can't even figure out how to quit the game. Destinations, campaigns, game modes, contracts, career, options, quit game. All right, so like I said, I'm going to hit that launcher again. And the launcher I've already set to DirectX 11 with the same exact settings, and I'm going to hit the start. Oh, excuse me. Had that up. The launcher, the benchmark launcher doesn't appear unless you scroll all the way to the very bottom, and it's just a little demure button at the bottom. But let's see how it looks with DirectX 11. So if DirectX 11 and 12, both yield about 52 FPS, then I'm going to tick down the shadows. Maybe I'll tick down HDR. I don't think I should tick down anisotropic filtering. I didn't see an anti-aliasing setting. But then there's SAO, and that is some kind of... Oh, I got super sampling at 2. Oh, wow, look at that. The average FPS is substantially lower in DirectX 11. My average right now is 48, and the crowd agents, the crowd agents and the cloth vertices are going to be the same. I do believe. Oh man, this is going to be substantially lower average FPS. I'm going to predict 46 to 48 overall. Because right now it's hanging in at 51, 50. Wow. God, I don't know if you're getting those readings in your view. Let me look. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh, you might be getting them on a time delay because I can see them real time and you're getting... Well, I don't know. Maybe you are getting real time. It's just, it doesn't appear in the browser real time. My voice matches the video though. Yeah, that should work. So we're at average of 55 right now. We were higher in this little garden. And now, man, was I playing on a different monitor when I played Hitman? I think I might have been playing on my 47-inch. This is a 37 Vizio. I got a 47-inch Philips, which is huge, that I used to use for my race car windshield. And that was awesome. Alright, well, while this finishes, I'm going to reopen the window and hope the smoker is gone and dead. Frames are pretty high here. Don't remember what they were in the first run, but I think I'm going to jack it back up to DX12. Well, we'll see when we get to the end, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to jack it up to DX12. And then, there it is. It's only 2 frames lower. That's not bad. I mean, that's not bad. I don't know what, don't know exactly what DirectX 12 is giving us, but I think jacking down the... Okay, so I'm going back to Direct 3D 12, sorry, DX, whatever. Primary monitor, yabba dabba do. VSync off. HDR is off. Can't turn it on. Super sampling I did jack up to 2. So if I knock that down, I could potentially get substantially higher. Let's try it. Super sampling's down to 1. And gonna do save. Oh shit. Okay. And then go back to options and start the benchmark. Um, I'm thinking super sampling was probably taking a big hit, but I also know that shadows, I usually always run shadows one tick below all my other settings. And it is one of the easiest, cheapest ways to gain FPS and not lose visual fidelity. So only by experience, not by, experience on my eyeballs, not by having any kind of mathematical testing, or you can find other websites that do that. All right, well, shit. We are getting substantially better FPS. But, for the majority of this game, it's not going to be race cars. Although it will be part of the game. And, 52, if I dip down the shadows, let's look at the shadows in this. Like, what are we seeing shadows from? Okay, I saw some guardrail shadows. So I think knocking in trees and fences. Okay, and here's some people shadows on the ground. Okay, that really doesn't change a lot. Now, when I played the other game, I was sneaking around in the shadows, right? I was trying to stay hidden, and I was ducking and covering. So you can see here, there's that stone wall has a shadow, the trees have shadows. So I think if I reduce the shadow fidelity and go back up to super sampling, well, now I need to write it down because I've gone through too many variables. All right, so I'm gonna keep notes. DX12, yes. Um, Super sample at 2. Well, okay, I'm gonna say at 1. DX12, yes, and I had 52 FPS. Then I knocked super sample at 1, and this is going to turn us out with a substantially better FPS. Honestly, if I just kept looking at the screen, how does that super sampling change my visuals? I might want the better. I might want the smoothness of the game more than I want the super sampling. I don't know that it's going to give me really all that much more immersion and engrossment into being Agent 47. But smooth, high FPS would definitely do it. Okay, so super sample at 1 is 68.8 FPS with SS at 2. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and do, oh, let's see, where did the SSAO go? Benchmark scene Miami, loop endless, no. Oh, you could loop the fucking benchmark endlessly? Wow, why would you do that? I guess if you were displaying the monitor in a Best Buy store? I don't know. Um, Show FPS. Override memory safeguards. Ooh. Razor Chroma. Can't turn that on. Simulation quality is best. Dynamic sharpening motion blur is high. Ah, we could knock motion blur down to medium. And shadow quality to high. Oh man. Gotta write this shit down. From ultra to high. Dude, I'm telling you that I jack around with this. This is part of being a PC gamer, man. I almost consider this fun. Um, Get it? Almost. Okay, so from motion blur with an R from let's see, high to medium. And what was the other thing that I changed? Dynamic sharpening, no. Motion blur, yes. Reflections, no. I love the reflections. Shadow quality from ultra to high. Screen space shadows. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that one is. Ah, SSAO is on ultra. Okay, so we're gonna make a note. SSAO at ultra, and with these settings, oh, let's see. Didn't I do something else here? Simulation quality best. Dynamic sharpening strong. No, I just looked at those. Okay, so I kicked down motion blur. I kicked down shadow quality. And look, I think the two things that are bold are the things that I changed. Let's say I change this. Aha, SSAO changed. Okay, so I'm going to go back to ultra. You know what? I'm going to knock SSAO to high. And with these three changes, I'm going to save that. Go to options at the bottom, hit benchmark. I predict 80 frames a second. Oh, shit. I'm already seeing in the top left corner. You see the little lime green? Oh, that may not stream. Ah, crap. May not. Well, let's see. I mean, it still looks pretty damn good. I still see tree shadows on the ground, but they're not every leaf. Oh, look, there is every leaf. Oh, man. I really overshot with an expectation of 80 FPS. Man, I was hoping for it. Okay, so there are shadows all over the place now. I'm recognizing all the shadows. Wow, that seems like a whole lot more particles. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It's got to be the same shit every run. Oh, there would be less particles visible with different settings. If it's particle settings, right? Particles is showing me particles on the screen. Okay, so here's where I was talking about being inside. We can see the people's shadow on the ground, the shadow of the different tables. Oh, look, there's shadows on the stairs. There's shadows here along the wall, the garden wall, where I'm going to be hiding. So you do need to know where the shadows are so you can run and hide in the shadow. But like every other game, shadows are one of the most visually taxing items. Aha, we are at 80 FPS. Oh, we're at 100 and something FPS with an average of 80. I mean, it looks pretty fucking good to me. But if I can, if I can fudge, let's say SSAO, go back up to ultra, or motion blur, nah. I mean, I hear motion blur. Yeah, motion blur and shadows are two of the most taxing items. I think I might just jack up SSAO from high to ultra again and sit with that. So we had the first run was max, everything, at 52 FPS. Then I turned down, I didn't turn up super sampling here. Aha! If I take super sampling back up to 8 and SSAO, or super sampling back up to 2 from 1, and then I knock SSAO up from high to ultra, while having shadow quality from ultra to high and motion blur from high to medium, I bet I can hit my 60 FPS and be pretty happy. Ooh, 69! Ooh, shiznit! Well, it's almost 70. 69.7. Wow. Oh, that's a bummer. All right, so what I say? I was gonna go to okay, DirectX 12. We're gonna stick with, and then we're gonna go to texture quality high, ultra, anisotropic at 8. What if I did this at 4? Yeah, I don't think that really puts on that big of a hit. I'm gonna go to ultra on this. Shadow quality, I'm leaving it high. Motion blur, I'm leaving it medium. And I wanted to go to super sample. Here we go. 2. Yeah, I know there's a middle ground of 1.5, but let's try this one. Let's do save, options, scroll back down to the bottom, and do it again. So I got SSAO at ultra, and then I got super sample at 2. Blech. Sorry you can't see me messing with the settings because that's in a little pregame sub window. I don't have full screen share going on. But yeah, I think the super sample's killing me, as is the SSAO at ultra. But I gotta say, it looks better. Even with the shadows knocked down, motion blur knocked down. Wow, part of the city. Shit flying everywhere. So now I'm starting to look at people's faces. And, you know, it's not unprecedented for when you get deep into a game in a specific level, you need to change the settings. So if I find some level that's like just taxing me big time, sometimes I'll knock down my settings. And I don't mean easy, medium, hard. I mean the visual settings because it gets easier when you actually have steady frames. I mean it's marginal, but it can be enough to make you get through the level you keep choking on, in my experience. So this looks pretty good, man. The reflections are good. And you know, these people don't have quite the three-dimensionality of some PC games. Um, Yakuza 0 is really old, but oh my god, the people in that game looked like so completely what's the word? Oh, silhouetted, or individualistic. Specifically standing by themselves. Here, they're kind of like they're almost like paper dolls, but they're really good-looking paper dolls, three-dimensional paper dolls. Not quite mannequins. Some characters are, but the mass quantities of crowds are a little different. Whoa! Whoa, we're back to 50. Shit. That ain't good. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to stick with DirectX 12. I'm going to knock Super Sample down. It's, I think, we're going to knock that to 1.5. Okay? Super Sample is at 1.5. And motion blur. Let's go back to options. Do, 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 do. SSAO is ultra. I'm going to drop SSAO from ultra to high. Shadow quality is on high. Reflection quality is high. I'm going to leave that. Motion blur is medium. So SSAO has been knocked to high. Super sample is knocked to 1.5. Shadow quality is high instead of ultra. Motion blur is medium instead of high. And super sample is 1.5 instead of 2. So I'm going to do save, Options again. Roll down, hit the benchmark button. Well, I want this to be my final go at the benchmark. But there's another benchmark called Mumbai. And I'm just really curious what to do with that. Wow. And this looks pretty good, man. The flags, the trees. I'm seeing an average of 70 on the average FPS. But again, we're gonna blow the FPS with the race, and it gets really intense, and the FPS drops with these crashes. Boom, shakalaka. We're hitting it pretty good. I think we found the sweet spot. Now, this is really, 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 really meaningful and important in the way you do this when you're playing a racing game. And like, I have a play seat and a G27 steering wheel, gas pedal, brake, clutch, shifter, the whole 9 yards. And when you're playing racing games, you gotta have that smooth FPS on the benchmarks if they give you a benchmark tool in the game. Because when you have 10, 15 cars on screen, everything changes. But when you're out there running by yourself in the front or in the back, or mid-pack in mid-race, everything changes. If you have really crappy frames, it's going to throw you off on your timing going in from one corner to another. So, I mean, I would love to be able to run. Good Lord. I'd love to have a 3090 that could run me at 1080 and 120 FPS. I'd be in nirvana. But this is substantially better than my R9 380 could do. However, I'm shocked that my R9 380 did as well as it did. In Hitman 1, I was just slack-jawed. Look at all these frickin' people. All this crap going on the screen all at one time. Yeah, it's just absolutely mind-boggling and phenomenal to me. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed the first installment of Video Game Tourist, exploring a particular game with a little bit of history on the intro, and then some, options, and dicking around with the benchmarks and stuff, and understanding and learning how I approach games. 69 FPS as the average, I'm going to go with that. So, 69 FPS. If I had my house instead of this crappy apartment, I actually have a file folder for games. Yeah, I know, I'm that big of a nerd. And I would screenshot these settings, and then when I changed to a new PC, I would know what was what. But I'm going to go with this at 69 FPS with these settings. And oh shit, as long as we're here, let's try Mumbai. Bam. Same settings. Let's see what we get in Mumbai. Now, I'm expecting it to be massively more people populated. However, it could be a shit ton more buildings. We'll see. It's probably not going to be a race. And here we are. Wow. Very dense, heavily populated city. Dude, if you haven't played Yakuza 0 is the only one I've played thus far. And I have Yakuza 1 and 2. But I have Yakuza 2, or Yakuza 1, queued up and ready to play. I just know that it's an old game and nobody cares. Nobody's going to watch me play it and stream it. But I'm going to play it and I'm going to enjoy it, because that is such a beautiful game. I highly recommend it. If you haven't played it, do it. Wow, this is insane. The train is plowing through, killing all those people. Runaway train. Oh, jeez. Is it going to blow through this building? No. Whew. Whew. Wow, I didn't want to watch that. Yeah, I got friends in India. I had a coworker, who was in India, and we talked on Skype every day. And he sent me photos. He lived there, he worked there, and he traveled around it. It's a huge country. It's like when he had $300, or when he had when he had some money, with, I don't know how much. I don't know. I mean, 300 was just to throw out. When he had some money, he would take his little 160cc motorcycle and he would load it onto a freight train. And there were people hanging off the train, just like you see in the freaking movies. He sent me photos. It's like he would hand out, like, $1 or rupees or whatever to specific people. Help me pick up this motorcycle, put it on the freight train. He jumps on, and he had a ticket, and he rode to someplace. Then he hired people at the next place. Help me unload my motorcycle. I'll give you $1. I'll give you $1. Bam, bam, bam. People helped him unload his motorcycle, and then he rode off, and he went on a tour of all the different. He was touring all the Hindu temples in India. Well, guess what? There's a shit ton of them. So he could have spent, if he could afford it, he would have spent every weekend doing it. But once a month was his goal. So 12, 10, and basically it worked out 10 times a year. And he had a photo blog in the whole 9 yards. It was remarkable. It is a beautiful country, and it is diverse as fuck. No, it's the same exact people everywhere. But the southern area is diverse from the northern Bengali area. Northeastern and western are radically different. In terms of terrain, urban sprawl, density of cities. Like, who the fuck would want to live in an alley with these 80 people standing around talking and pissing in the fucking corner? Yuck. Ugh. And guess what? Ain't no lie. He's like, yeah, that's kind of how it is, dude. He sent me videos, he sent me photos, he took me on his little motorcycle ride and all that shit. It was fantastic. So Mumbai, we had a score of 8750. For Miami, we had a score of 69. So I'm gonna say that we're pretty solid in being able to play this game. It looks fantastic. I don't see anything that I could really crank up. If I increase super sampling, maybe we go to 1.7. Okay, so I'm going to do 1.7. And I'm going to do save and do options. And I'm going to run Mumbai again. And I think the super sampling is related to anti-aliasing and shit. But yeah, here we are. I'm trying to do a drum roll. Alright, that's all I got. Super sampling, I do see a little bit more smoothness, maybe. I'm gonna do this test, and we're gonna write that down. What were we at last time? 87, I think. I'm making notes. Holy Christ. The guy who lives upstairs from me, when he walks, the entire building rumbles. He is so fucking fat or fat-footed. I can feel my chair vibrate, the floor vibrates, but he's above me. That means the walls vibrate. I've actually heard the light fixture. When he walks from one side of the fucking apartment to the next, light fixtures vibrate. There's a little plastic lens, connected to a metal light fixture, and it fucking vibrates. And just now, apparently he ran from his bathroom, or ran from his fat ass bed to his fucking bathroom. And boom, 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 boom. And my chair literally vibrate. The floor, my feet are on the ground on the floor, and I could feel it vibrate on the floor and in my ass. It's remarkable. I cannot wait to rent a house out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Do not belong here. And I usually delete threads like this where I talk about that bursting kind of crap, but good lord, I am so sick of this crap. You can't imagine what it's like to deal with this shit. Well, maybe you can. Maybe this is normal, and I've just been, isolated. I've had a house for 13 years. I rented a house for 7 years. So for 20 years, I have not had somebody living above or below me. The lady downstairs is very nice. Very quiet. She never complains about me. I ask her, hey, you ever hear me stomping around? She's like, no, I didn't even know there was somebody living in the apartment above me. The guy upstairs, man, he slams his fucking doors, cabinets, everything. Everything. It's just obscene. All right, well, we're doing pretty good here. It's 81 FPS. Cranking up the super sampling to 1.7. So we're going to change from Mumbai to Miami again. I'm going to save that. Double check. We are at 1.7 on the super sampling, and we're going to run the benchmark. I'm going to predict from 69 FPS, we are probably going to fall to a solid 60, and I would say that's good. Then we're going to kill people. Unfortunately, that's our job. Man, it looks so good. I really think it looks good. It does have this weird soft feel, like it's a console game. I don't know how to explain that. There are some games you can see that were made for a console and then ported to PC, or some games that were made for a PC and then ported to console. I don't know if you're with me, you get me, you get me. If not, oh well. It still looks pretty fucking good, doesn't it? Wow, it really looks good. Oh my god, dude. Okay, so I've established a bit of a pattern. I try to just stay focused and drill through one single game, especially if I'm streaming it. If I'm not streaming it, I'll bounce around and do other shit. Um, but when I was playing Yakuza 0, I got sucked in. And I knew that, alright, well, I ain't streaming jack until this game is done. It is that fun and awesome a game. I hope this game, and when I played Hitman, I played it offline because I knew that I couldn't stream it. It was just, shit connection or shit time of year to have a reasonable connection. Anyway, we'll see. I'll watch this video back and see how the benchmarks look and if they replay in Twitch nicely. I'll go ahead and stream playing the game. And if nobody shows up, nobody cares, nobody watches the replay, then I won't bother. I'll just disappear from Twitch for a month, play the hell out of this game until I finish it. Actually, this game should only take well, you know what? Okay, let's say a game takes 15 hours. That's 1 hour every other day for a month. It's a couple of 2-hour gaming sessions, but every 3 days. So if you jump in, you play on Friday night, Saturday, 2 hours, 4 hours. That's 15 hours in the course of a month. So yeah, this game could suck me in and cost me a month. Well, not really cost me a month, but I mean, all right, man, we are at 64. And it looked fantastic to me. I am down for it. Gonna do it. And I'm gonna save these settings. I am going to say goodbye for now. And if anybody watches this, yay. If not, I'm going to relabel this as Hitman Series Hitman 2 Intro, and then Hitman 2 Part 1, or something like that. Maybe I should do Part 0, then Part 1. Yeah, that's what I'll do. All right, see you next time. GameBrain is gone. I've been gone for a long time.